But thank you so much for inviting me out today so that I can share with you how I believe together we can build a strong team to paint our state blue. Tell you a little bit about myself. My husband Wayne and I live in Sheboygan, and we have 3 wonderful children. I have a background in business, both with my education, a personnel management accounting undergrad, and an MBA in finance. I used my skills in business world from large corporations like Target stores and Kraft Foods down to small nonprofit organizations that I've been executive director of. Those skills, I gained a lot of skills, this just died. I gained a lot of skills in the business world. I was known as somebody who was a leader that could pull together great teams to save money, solve problems, and get things done. And it was those skills that I also used in my community. I've been a PTO president way too many times to count. Known as somebody who finds there's a problem, like a school that was opening with no library and no playground in elementary school. I pulled people together and we raised over $160,000 to open it with that. Or getting a breakfast program started at a school where kids were coming into school hungry. The thing that I'm most proud about in my career is that I was asked to make a 10-year dream of an intergenerational community center for Sheboygan County a reality. It's a center that has a senior center, a child care center, 2 Head Start classrooms, and a community center in the middle. And I helped raise $4.6 million during the recession, the first and the last dollar. I oversaw it, got the building built, opened it, and ran it for 2 years and left when it was fully paid off. And that's when the Democrats came knocking at my door. They said, "Martha, you're known as somebody in our community that loves education and fights vigorously for it. We know that you stand up for unions and workers' rights, and we know that you care about communities from the work that you've been doing. Will you run for state senate?" And I said yes, because my father had a great opportunity because of the state, and I owe a lot to Wisconsin. See, my dad grew up in a dirt floor poor northern Wisconsin family. And like kids from many poor families, he quit high school so that he could make money for his family. And it was a public school teacher that reached out to him and convinced him to come back and get his high school diploma, which he did. And the GI Bill allowed him to become a chemical engineer. My dad always told me, "Marty, you're not poor if you got ice cream in the freezer." And I have always had ice cream in my freezer. And I owe a lot to that because Wisconsin fought for those progressive programs that we all believe in. The opportunity to work hard and make a better life for yourself. The opportunity to have a clean environment, for health care to be there and available for everyone, for women to have a right to choose about the health care of their body. So I ran for office and I lost. And it was devastating, and I don't lose well. So I immediately started looking into what caused this and was finding out that there were little campfires, people, Democrats, grassroots groups all over the state trying to figure out what went wrong. And I wanted to be part of that. So I organized a gathering in Stevens Point to bring people together so that we could tell the state chairs, these are the things we think we need to fix. And it was after that gathering that people came up to me and said, "Martha, why aren't you running for state chair?" The fact that you're bringing people together and trying to identify these issues. So I am running for the state chair, and I'm running because I believe there are 4 things we need to fix. People told me when we ran that, "Oh, we ran because we don't have a good bench. We got to have a good bench." And I thought, boy, Penny Bernard-Shaver was a really good candidate. Mark Harris was a great candidate. I was a pretty good candidate. We lost with great candidates. That can't be the reason. Some people said that you got to get out there and say what we really stand for, that we're for dollars going to public education, not vouchers, that we're for a woman's right to choose. But boy, we were all saying those same things and we still lost. So here's the 4 things I'm going to address as your state chair. 1 is messaging. I want to be sure that we have value-driven messaging, that when someone says, "What is it to be a Democrat?" we can answer that question and that we stand proud for it. I will bring together a task force of people made up of members from all levels of our party, grassroots organizers, party or organizations that support us, like Planned Parenthood and unions and League of Conservation Voters. Let's all come together and go through George Lakoff's value-driven messaging. Once we're trained, we're going to break into teams and we'll create messaging on every one of the issues that are important to us. And we'll disseminate that manual to every single candidate in this state and all of our county party members and all of our legislators, so we'll all be talking strong and being strong Democrats with a great message. 2, we're going to strengthen our county parties, because our county parties are the people that get our message out year-round, and we need them to be doing that year-round. We're going to be sure that they're there helping us build a strong bench, because we want a strong bench, but we're also going to be sure they have the resources to support those candidates. Just as an example, a couple of things I'd like to do is an incentive program that you would get more money in the county for new members that signed up. 2, we want to create a manual that we would create for you and give it to you so that you would have the resources and the information you need to support candidates, and you'd be the keeper of that manual. And 3, we want you to have more of a say in the strategic plan of what we're doing as a party so that you're giving us your voice and we're hearing that. 3rd, I'm a good fundraiser. I told you I've raised millions of dollars and I will continue to do the strong fundraising we're doing. But I also want to be sure we're using our dollars wisely and not duplicating. If other people are doing it, let that partner do that and let's use our resources in another area. And 3rd, let's not select candidates because they'll be good fundraisers. Let's select candidates because they'll be great candidates. And I'll teach them how to fundraise and get others to help with that. And final point, and this is why I lost my race, we're going to fix midterm turnout. We're going to identify why is it that Democrats are not coming out in midterm elections. You know, people say, oh, it's our messaging. And I'm like, really? So when the president's running, we got good messaging. When the midterm's happening, we don't? I think what's happening, my hypothesis is that we have Democrats that don't really follow state government and local government. They're not really informed. And so they're thinking, oh, I'll leave that to inform voters. We need to educate them that you're leaving this to the Republicans, and we need to be sure we have a strong turnout. So I'll address all those issues. I'm very excited about putting on a proud face of the Democratic Party and rebranding our image. I'm very excited about doing that, and I'm lucky enough to have the support of the Ask Me People Conference, of Senator Kathleen Vinehout, of many people in our community that are joining forces because they know that it's important to build a strong team made up of all of you. And I'm also very proud to announce that Representative David Bowen is running as a teammate of mine. We're going to be a strong force because David's going to help me get the youth out in our party, and he's also a legislator, which will bridge that gap where we're getting information and knowing what we need to prepare our messaging for. So I would like to be your state chair, and I'd appreciate it if you sign up to be a delegate and vote on June 6th for Lanning and Bowen.